Welcome back YouTube. So this is part 2 of my welding in the floor pan videos. I feel like it's part 2 of a many-parted series on welding in floor pans. At the end of the last video you could see that I had a go. I realised that the pan had not really properly welded itself to the pan, and so it popped off in many places where I tried to weld it. It had messed up the metal, and so then I had to cut a piece out and try and fix that. So I tried to cut another piece and put that in instead, and that didn't go well either. We are where we are, which is that I have a 1/2 welded pan that I'm not particularly convinced is well secured and needs some remedial work done to it. One of the things I'm probably going to do is buy another panel to weld in here, a top piece to replace the part I've cut out. I decided it would be better to do that than to try and make my own, because it just wouldn't have the ribbing and it wouldn't be quite as strong, I think. So I'm going to have to bite the bullet and buy a replacement piece for the top here. However, what I'm going to need to do, I think, is focus on the second pan, and this time with a little bit more experience. One thing is I'm going to make bigger holes. I'll make them 8 mil rather than 5. I'm going to make it a bit hotter on the amperage, try and get a better weld through, and I'm going to just make sure the surface is as well prepared as possibly could be. I thought I did that last time, but we'll have another go to see if we can make it even better than it is. Look at that. Bin. So that's 4 mil hole drilled. Now I'm going to re-drill with an 8 mil to make a bigger hole. So here I've used the angle grinder to grind the spine back to bright metal. I'm hoping for the best penetration on the welds that I can possibly get, and I think that's served by having the cleanest metal possible. And I've also used the angle grinder on the floor pan itself just to make sure that the area around the holes is nice and clean metal too. So the pan is in position. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually screw it in. I'm going to use some Tech screws basically, and I'm going to drill down and use that to try and make the pan to the spine much more closely than I had before. Okay, so we're now nicely cleaned up. We are screwed in and there are holes to weld to. And this is all tight. This is nice and tight all the way around now. The screws are all holding it nicely. All we're going to do now is get the welding right. And here's the final result. So I'm a lot happier with this than previously. So the things that worked was increasing the amperage. Also the Tech screws help keep the thing nice and tight to the spine. I've removed those screws and backfilled them with weld now. So I increased the amperage. I also made the holes bigger. Generally speaking, I think that's been fairly successful. A little bit to clean up there at the top. I need to grind those winds down a little bit. They're not very pretty there, but we'll sort that out. That's easy. But for the rest, I'm going to call that done. What I've got to do now in the next video is fix this side, which is a bigger challenge. But we'll get to that.